everyone, how are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing well. Since a lot of you want to study abroad and study in the US, and a lot of you have reached out to me regarding this video is going to be a complete step-by-step guide of how to apply to universities in the US. Okay, to start with, I'll just give you like a basic timeline of what your entire process should look like. This process can look different for everybody. This is just a blueprint and just for your reference. So 9th, 10th and 11th grade, you'll focus on your academics and your extracurriculars. In your 11th grade is when you'd start preparing for the SAT, and I would suggest to take the SAT right after your 11th grade. They have an attempt in May, and then if you don't do well in that one, there's another attempt in August, which will give you enough time to have your scores in before the application process starts. After your 11th grade is also when you take the English proficiency test. Now this can be either TOEFL, IELTS or Duolingo. Take that test and start writing your college essay. The ideal time to apply to colleges is around the October-November of your 12th grade. You would apply during your 12th grade so that you get accepted for the next fall intake, which would be the August after your 12th. That was just a very brief peek into what the timeline was like. Now let's get into the actual application process. You would apply through this portal called the CommonApp, which the name pretty much explains itself. You fill out a common application form for all the colleges, and some colleges have some extra questions that you need to answer, but this one form is pretty much everything you'd need. And you can apply to about 20 colleges on the CommonApp. I wouldn't recommend applying to so many. I'd say apply to around 10 to 12 universities. Now, how to shortlist these universities is know your preferences. Is your preference the major, the rank of the university, your budget? Suppose your preference is the major. You're like, okay, I can stay wherever, I can pay however much money I want, but I want the program to be the best ranked program in the US. Then look for universities that offer your program and rank very well in that. If your preference is the budget, look for low cost universities that offer your major. And it is usually very difficult to get all of this in one package. Now I'll tell you what the CommonApp application actually looks like. I have a picture here for reference. I'll insert it on the screen. So first they'll ask for all your personal information, your name, date of birth, some things about your family, all of that. Once you enter all of those, the next section is your education. Now this is where you would enter all your scores from your 9th, 10th and 11th grade. And as I said, you would be applying during your 12th grade, so you wouldn't have your 12th grade scores yet. Now it is okay if you don't submit your scores for 12th grade, or you can submit predicted scores. But a lot of schools don't give predicted scores, so it's okay if you don't submit anything. And then after that, there's testing. This would be your standardized test, your SATs, your ACTs. As far as I know, the SAT is still optional for a lot of universities, but I'd still suggest take the exam. If you get good grades, well and good, it'll only add to your application. If you take the exam and still don't get good grades, it's optional anyways. So take the SAT. It's always good to have that in hand. And a little bit about the exam. There's 2 sections, English and math, and the maximum score you can achieve is a 1600. There's 5 attempts every year, and I don't think there's a limit on the amount of exams you can take. You would submit your best score to the university. If you have, suppose, 1300 in one and 1400 in another one, you only submit your best score. You'd only submit the 1400. Now after the testing section is the activities section, which is basically extracurriculars, and you can list up to 10 extracurriculars. I personally listed them in an order of how important they were to me and the impact they created. And I have made another video sharing my stats and extracurriculars, so if you haven't checked that out, check it out after you watch this one. Do extracurricular activities that you really enjoy doing. Don't do things just for the sake of getting into college, because the people who review them, it's their job. They do it for a living. They have reviewed tens of thousands of applications every year, and they will know if you're actually passionate about something or doing it just for the sake of getting into college. One tip that I'll give though is try to quantify your extracurriculars. So suppose you have started a fundraiser, right, about how many people you have reached out to, what the cause is, and what is the exact amount that you have raised. This helps colleges see the impact that you have really created. Now, after your extracurriculars, you'll also have to write a college essay. Now, the prompts for the college essay are available on College Board's website all the time. I think there's 6 prompts and you can choose one of them. Now, how I like to look at this is, what is a story about yourself that you would really like to tell? You know, if I were to meet you today, what is something that would tell me something about you other than your marks and other than all the extracurriculars you have listed down? Your CommonApp essay is not a place to list down all your academic and extracurricular achievements, because you've already done that in the other sections. You can talk about one of your extracurriculars that has really impacted your life, but talk about just one. Another thing I'd say is, try to give your writing an emotional connect, because it's more likely that people will remember your writing if they feel something while reading it. Does that make sense? A lot of colleges will also ask you for a letter of recommendation. And this letter is basically your teacher, your principal, or someone you have worked with writing to the university and telling them why you would be a good fit in the university. Don't take a letter of recommendation from your parents or from your family, because colleges know that they are going to be biased towards you. I took my letters of recommendations, one from my science teacher and another from the principal of my school. And I know it's a very new system for schools in India, they might not be familiar with it. So go talk to your teachers, tell them your scenario, tell them why you need this letter, explain the application process to them, and then hopefully they'll be able to help you out. Now that you have all of this, you're ready to submit your application. But each university has at least a $70 to $80 application fee, and I know it's a lot. You would have to spend tens of thousands of rupees in order to apply to all of these colleges. But there is a section on CommonApp that will let you apply for a CommonApp application fee waiver, and in most cases universities accept this fee waiver and you'd get to apply to universities for free. Now, I will link the video that helped me apply to these fee waivers down in the description, and I hope it helps you out. But after you have all of this, you can finally submit your application to these colleges. I know we talked about shortlisting universities earlier, but I wanted to add up on that. Make sure that 30% of the universities that you apply to are safety schools. That means these are the universities that you know you will get into. And then 50% would be reach schools. These would be your targeted universities. You know your profile is strong enough to get in, but at the same time they're competitive. So 50% would be reach, 30% would be safety, and then 20% would be your dream schools, you know, universities that are very tough to get into, you know, Ivy Leagues or like any universities with a very low acceptance rate. For scholarships, a lot of universities automatically consider you for scholarships. Like, you don't have to submit another application, just your college application. And the scholarship that I received, I was automatically considered for it when I applied to my college. And these, I think, are the best type of scholarships because you don't need to separately apply for it, and they also usually give you a very high amount of a scholarship. Other than that, you can reach out to the financial aid office of the university that you've gotten into and ask them for any scholarship opportunities, or go online and just look for them. That is almost everything in the process that you need to know about, and I hope this video has made things a little bit more clear to you. I know it's a very tedious and confusing process, especially because it's a completely new education system, but I wish you the best. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.